The Minister of Finance has hinted a return to cabinet to review downwards the country's oil revenue target for 2016. And during his presentation of the 2016 budget in November 2015, Mr. Tekpe said government had pegged this benchmark projection for a barrel of oil at 53, and we currently know where the prices have been hovering or ranging in between, so to speak. But now we have a glut on the market. It means that the revenues from oil will not be coming. I don't know, that's why we have a lot of taxes being imposed left, right, center by government. Could that be a reason, if I have to be mischievous?
Well, that could not be the reason. The reason why we have taxes is to be able to develop this country. This country can only be developed by taxes. I mean, we as a people have the right, have the responsibility of contributing to develop our country. And the only way you raise tax, you develop your country, is to receive taxes from lawful businesses conducted in your country. But clearly, what the minister is coming to do in Parliament is consistent with the law. He had predicted that fuel prices will hover around $50-something per barrel. He had done his budget with projections of revenue inflows from the oil at 50 and over barrels, dollars per barrel. We are not getting that. So there's going to be a revenue shortfall. He needs to come back to Parliament and tell Parliament, look, the figures that I gave, the revenue that I predicted I will no longer have that revenue. So, the fact that you have approved such an amount of money for me to spend, I'm not going to be able to get that amount of money. And then he can go ahead to do some revenue, some cuts in the budgetary provisions of certain ministries and departments and agencies to consistent with what he's going to get as a minister. So it's all about planning, prudent planning. It's all about ensuring accountability. It's all about transparency. Let's be able to live within the means that we, as a country, were able to generate. And to be able to do that, he's not going to, he has no discretion other than telling us that, look, this is what is going to come into the country. And so I want you to give me approval to be able to revise the budget to reflect the figures that are going to be, the revenue that is going to be raised in this country.
Your Wise, that's something. That tells me that we're in deep trouble, more taxes. Or perhaps more non-payment of statutory funds, so to speak, or even perhaps more cuts in jobs of non-intake of people into the public sector. Those are just some of the few I can remember on top of my head.
Leave out statutory funds, because that's for that one. Even if you get 1 cedi,
you're lucky.
The law has apportioned how much that should go into.
There's that appropriation there.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just that government is always selling short. That part is, he will pretend, oh, I'll bring it, and he's using it for other purposes. Then your health is failing, your roads are failing, your common fund projects are standing by. For me, that should have been priority. Unfortunately, that is not the case in this government. Part of which my friend is actively, his roads are deteriorating, and the money are held at the Ministry of Finance. We should go to the road fund. Contractors have worked, they are not being paid. But you see, talking about a need for a review in 1 month, 2 months, should give rise to questioning what kind of thinking went into the projections.
Why were you thinking that
a month ago? What was the price of fuel? At the time they were pegging at 53 plus. We were already lower than that.
We're around 30, I think.
That's the point.
30 something.
So upon what basis were you saying that we could rise to 53?
But it wouldn't have been surprising if oil rose to 53 within a month.
That would have been a windfall. You get me? You won't lose that money. This is budgeting. You're planning. You have to be as realistic as possible.
He wants to look good.
And then what? Now, do you look better now? If that made you look good, then in a month's time, do you look better? You look worse. So what kind of thinking goes into the planning for the country, in my view, has become rather questionable. Because the writings were on the wall. Actually, the evidence was there. Now what is going to happen is that the amount of money that are not coming, as the Honorable Minister has rightly pointed out, you have to take it out. You have to rearrange all the budgets of the respective ministries and agencies. And then how are they going to adjust? Many of them have already, based on the budget, started procurement, or works that are ongoing have procured to continue or contracted to continue. That is how come often contractors are the losers. They borrow to do the work, hoping that it will be paid. They are not paid. Their businesses collapse, their personal properties are untouched, because often they use that to guarantee loans. We should be very careful in the way we open. For me, it is not the fact that it's coming back to revise. This is not come out of the blue. The downward trend of the oil prices has been ongoing for over a year. I don't know whether it is because they don't want Ghanaians to benefit from the imports, because the counter argument would have been that, okay, we are a net importer anyway. We import more than we export.
So we should be happy.
We should be happy.
That
we are
we're going to
paying
spend
less. We're going to spend less. But you see, that benefit that should come to you and I has been scrapped with taxes. As soon as there's a fall and you're supposed to get the benefit in accordance with the law passed, that is the automatic adjustment program, then the government will introduce a new tax.
Which currently we know is the energy sector levy.
What's the meaning of that? That's a new tax
You
to cover. Oh, Parliament passed it.
Yeah, I mean, talking about Parliament. I'm not talking about you personally.
But unfortunately, the way our Parliament is structured, whatever the executive wants will pass. And
no.
What hurts is that when they do that, then they go around and say, oh, it's Parliament that passed it.
But true, it's Parliament.
Parliament did not introduce the bill. Parliament does not introduce bills. The government.
Yeah. And the majority, which has its executive government, would always be having their way.
That's right. You know, but the point I'm making is the fact that you have to come back 1 month to review your targets means that the thinking that went into the planning.
Can we say Nkoye? But
no.
Does it also mean that government will have to strictly stick to its program of austerity, particularly in an election year?
Wait, this is the first time, let me state that this is the first time government is going through an election with an IMF program. It shows the commitment of this government to put this country on a sound pedestal.
Oh, that's for the political platform.
No. Every year.
That's supposed to be a persuasive message for the political platform.
Every year for the last 16, 18 years, we have been overshooting our budget in an election year.
And so you're saying that what happened in 2012 is not
for the first time.
It's the highest in our history.
But it was not new. It was not new.
Overshooting the budget, overruns were not new.
Were not new. Even in election years, were not new.
Yes, true.
But this year, as a government.
But 2012 was phenomenal.
As a government, this
and it's
year,
the basis for which we're having all these ripple effects.
No, it's not the basis. I mean, it's a contributory factor, but it's not the basis. Because every year, we've had an accumulation of budget deficits. And that is what we are dealing with. And to deal with it, you must take pragmatic steps. That is why we've developed these medium-term solutions to the problem. And we are saying that if we are able to do this, and which the IMF says, it appears that we are on course. And I believe seriously that we are on course. I mean, he talks about Parliament, the government introducing the bill. That's true. But it's not the first time. In 2001, the NPP government introduced a similar bill.
Only called different.
All called differently. Where we had the petroleum toll recovery levies, the social mitigation levy. Yes, before 2000, a barrel of oil, of crude, was $22. Check how much. It was $27. When in 2001, a barrel dropped to $22. Check how much we bought fuel. At $22, we bought fuel higher than we bought it when a barrel of oil was $27. So it's government policy.
So you're saying
how do we
that's a justification for us?
It's not a justification. I'm just saying that government law, the bills introduced in Parliament are supported by policy. How do we ensure that this revenue shortfall we are able to cover as much as possible? The price at which we buy fuel today, we bought before. We bought before. When fuel, crude oil price was higher than $32 per barrel. When you look at the amount of money spent on fuel, or that we buy a liter of fuel for, it is reduced from its high of 37% to 27%. And so we are saying that, yes, we need to be able to fix our things in Ghana. We need, I give another example. Labour says, well, scrap the energy levy, scrap the utility levies.
And we're not getting enough from oil.
We're not getting enough
and
from
we're
oil.
owing the utility.
Before, when we had the doomsday, Labour said, well, our businesses are dying because employers are having to buy fuel to power their generators. And so cost of production is high. And so government says, look, we are fixing the power problem. The president gave a firm commitment when he delivered his State of the Nation address last year. Today, we have a semblance of, some permanency to the power situation. The power situation is now quite improved.
It's because of the increased taxes, you say?
No.
Okay.
Now, the government is saying that to ensure that we continue to enjoy this level of service and assure business of constant supply of power, we have to put aside money to deal with the legacy debts.
And which is even a better alternative than us powering ourselves if there's no power.
Far better.
I've helped you in your political work.
The point, when we talk about legacy debts, I'm glad he talked about introducing toll levy, toll debt recovery levy, social mitigation. Are those levies still not there?
But that's what has been.
Wait. It's legacy debt. We have been collecting that levy for how long? Why do we still have legacy debts? Are we not using the monies to pay those debts?
What's your point?
The point I'm making is that argument about legacy debts, for me, does not fly. Because you've introduced a tax since 2001 to pay those debts.
But they were not paid.
Who didn't pay?
The MPP government did not pay them.
Hello?
Yes.
You recall that in 2010, 2009, when this government made poor debt the major issue.
Yes.
We took our time to go through with you, and in the end, the president practically recanted, and said that what matters is that the debt is paid. In addition to that, the Minister for Finance came to Parliament and said they had borrowed to pay off that debt. So which legacy debt are we talking about?
When you borrow to pay off debts, you are creating a new debt.
Excuse me.
Yes, you have borrowed to pay off that debt.
Debts are we talking about?
Okay.
Those general debts that we borrowed, are we paying it under this?
Okay, let me ask this. We have to go on to the issue of meningitis, but let's just run our minds through this.
Yes.
The point is, if you look at the size of the economy, it has increased. It means that our tastes as a people have also changed. Our expenditures have increased as well. So the situation perhaps also post-2000 will not necessarily be the situation post-2008 or 2012. At the end of the day also, we have so much commitment in investment in infrastructure, commitment in perhaps statutory payment, in other capital expenditure, etc. Is it not because of all these that we want as a country? That is why we are where we are. And so despite all the arguments about the overruns, we have to be realistic and say, this is where we are, and we have to be in a position and man up enough and pay for what we want to enjoy.
I don't disagree with one.
So that's why government is introducing a lot more.
No. More than 40, nearly half of the monies we borrowed have not gone into the infrastructure, have not gone into providing services.
Where have they gone?
They have gone out through corruption. Naked stealing. Overpricing of projects. Very. Those, I don't like giving. Those are
judgment debts.
Huge and everyday government dealings. Look at the Auditor General's report. It tells you the everyday government dealings that we're wasting resources, right? So in addition to the huge 2010 major stealing through various scams with different names, in addition to that, the everyday dealings with government that government is being shortchanged, the country is being shortchanged in its finances. So we can deal with it, but beyond that, we have to pay for the services we enjoy. I totally agree with that. But then also, the value of what the service we provide should come up to the cost at which we provide the service. It cannot be when you providing me the service, then you charge me the full value. But when I'm providing you the service, then you have an excuse to say that I don't have money, I don't have that, so I'll pay you what I have. What is the excuse for not paying people who have worked for 3 years? Say, I'll pay you 3 months. Why is government not writing off the debt of those people, the nurses and teachers who have been paid 3 months for work done in 2 years? Why are the government not writing off the expenditure? For example, the water and electricity bill, because I'm paying you 3 months for 2 years' work. Why don't you write off their bills in that respect? So these arguments about what we want is openness, transparency, and we want to see our money work for us. But more importantly, we want to get value for money for every expenditure.
I think all around the world, that's the way to go. You make sure that transparency and openness is the gateway to ensuring that the people know that for all the expenditure you've made is value for money.
I'm shocked.
You're shocked
about my seniors' pronouncements this morning.
You haven't heard them before?
I really have not heard them, not from him, actually. This government is a government that believes in transparency and accountability. And that's the paradox of the situation. In fighting corruption, we have been tagged as being corrupt. In exposing corrupt practices, in dealing with people, it's different from saying that corruption is as old as Adam. It's different from a president saying that I will not investigate corruption because it will bring down my government. But that's the paradox. When the government itself initiates investigations into the activities of state institutions and deals with people, recalcitrant people, people who have misapplied and misappropriated state funds.
Under your watch.
Under our watch. Then they turn around and say,
well, so someone will say you are just living in a state of self-denial.
It's not self-denial. It's just that the government is responsive to the call to use resources in a prudent, effective, and beneficial way. And government does not subscribe to people siphoning state resources for their own benefit. That is what it means. That is exactly what it means. The government has sent people that it has appointed into offices before investigative authorities. There are governments which never did that. Never did that. And so, please, government does not condone bribery and corruption. Indeed, I trust in John Mahama. I trust in him because I know exactly what the values that he stands for.
Okay, you're campaigning. Where we even got into no. Talking about campaign, the steering committee of the opposition MPP has ordered the rerun of parliamentary primaries in the Korle-Klottey constituency following months of controversy over its fairness. And the party decision comes after it agreed with the parties to withdraw the case from court. And so it means that we're going to have a reconvening of that very election or primary, in which we know the lawyer, is it Philip Addison? And then also one Inoy, and then another will be contestants. You're a member, let me ask you. Yeah. You're just favoring one person?
No.
Because it was an election that was convened in a full glare of the public.
But there was controversy from the beginning.
Which one?
When
prior to the main event?
No, that election, there was controversy from the beginning. Whereas two of the contestants said, we have agreed as a group with our regional executive that the election will be held next week. The General Secretary wrote, instructed them to hold it this week. And the other said, no, this is not the agreement. It's too short, we have this. So that controversy was never resolved. That's why 2 out of the contestants withdrew from that primaries. And then the controversy raged on. What is interesting in this report is that it has been settled. The parties have reached a consensus that whatever.
If you say parties, you mean all of them or majority of the feuding parties?
Well,
because it seems that the one who won, is saying
he's part of the agreement.
He's supposed to be part, but if you get some of the responses being quoted by the media, it doesn't sound like
that he's part of the agreement. To the best of my knowledge, the party put a mediation team together. About 2-3 months ago, I was at a meeting when the team was appointed, and they've been working with them, all the parties as well.
And you got the latest announcement that they've called a truce.
Yes, that was the decision at the last steering committee meeting.
So when will be the convening time for the primary?
It is for the regional executive and the constituency executive to work together to outline that one. Yeah.
I thought the matter was in court.
Yeah, now
resolved.
Now they decided to.
Someone wanted to go to court to vindicate his rights.
Which one is this? This one is ADR.
Well, it's not ADR.
Mediation.
It's not ADR.
It's another one. Alternative dispute.
No, I want to know because I've been a court reporter before. And you know, it's ADR. So I want to know, is it ADR?
This one is not ADR. This one is their own arrangement.
Okay.
Well, the same thing. Mediation
to
is part of ADR.
To pacify Philip Anderson. And they get him to contest. That's the thing. I mean, he performed abysmally. He did not. I mean, Philip Anderson was the main challenger to this election. But Philip Anderson contested the elections. No. Yes.
They announced that they have withdrawn.
No, he contested. He got 3 votes or so.
No, he didn't get 3 votes. Be careful.
They didn't even go.
He got 22 votes.
Okay, 22.
As against 393 by
22. Nothing more than I gave him. 19 votes more than I gave him. So he contested. It's not as if to say that Philip Anderson, the main
but he
challenger,
protested proud to that that day of the election.
And he announced that
there was even the last one. The last one he boycotted.
So if he had won, he would have still contested the.
No, he wouldn't have gone to court.
Yes, so
it's logical.
So you can't approbate and reprobate.
No,
you can't.
Well, this one is not. It's not. It's not.
And then he took the matter to court. I thought you would have waited for a court decision on this matter. And now the whole MPP have come together to say, look, we have solved this matter. Because Philip Addison was...
They didn't say they have solved. They said they took it out of court. So
yeah,
they decided to go and solve.
Because, like you said...
So they've now come to a conclusion that it's solved.
Addison was the main... was a lead counsel. Was it a lead counsel in the petition case?
Well, everybody watched it live. I was not on that coverage, so I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't watch it? That was why they telecast the whole thing live.
Ah, okay.
And so, because they need to pacify Philip Anderson, one of the pacifications is to ensure that
he wins a seat.
Yeah, not wins a seat. That has they do a rerun in the Korle constituency so that they give another chance to see whether he can redeem his dented and distant.
Oh, his image is not dented. I don't think
the other part of that the Congress was boycotted by nearly half of the delegates because of. These people said we won't.
Is it nearly half?
But then don't that form a quorum?
No, our quorum is lower than that.
No, more than half.
Yes.
Then the elections were held rightly.
Yeah, except that the controversy right from the time of the announcement of the election, there was dispute as to whether that was the date or that was not the date. And when that was not resolved, 2 out of the 3 contestants said, no, we will not participate in this election. And they asked their people not to go. And some responded, they did not go. Others went, and they went ahead. All these are the matters that have now been resolved. They went to court, raised issues. They're going to delay the process. So, you and I are trained to use alternative dispute resolution.
But you and I know that when you go to court, you must exhaust all the...
Hello? How many cases have you settled out of court?
The opportunities available, especially in election matters.
All right.
And one of the opportunities is to
I wanted us to look at this one when the president said in the second term there will be more cash in the pocket. So that reminds me of a presidential hopeful of the MPP who said he would put in a lot more cash in our pockets.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
But that's the new mantra of the president now. It's not for discussion. I'm asking. Is that it?
No, I've not heard that directly from the president.
Yeah, I heard it in the newspapers.
Yes,
there are reports. Newspapers.
From the president, yeah.
All right. So I wanted us to look also at meningitis, but we don't have time. So we've been looking at a lot of issues this morning, and we're grateful that you've made time to be here. Member of Parliament for Bekwai is Joe Osewusu, former Chief Executive for the DVLA, and also in the studio is Tamale Central MP and also Minister for Roads
and Highways. And
It's highways. It's highways.
Highways,
Yes.
yes.
Inusaf Hussein is his name. Very young, vibrant man. He was just from the gym when we pulled him here, so that's good. He wants to be fit for the elections.
Yes, for the elections. Yes.
So there was some raging controversy in your constituency. By the way,
About what?
You were contested, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
All right, let me just run this by you. You'll be marking Valentine. You know Valentine?
Yes.
14th February is Valentine's Day, and on this special day, celebrate love in a spectacular way, Tedua, at the Joy Prime Valentine Night Out with Alisa Hotel. And the night will be featuring the chef's special buffet of delicious dishes. Make sure you go, the two of you. Fashion, love renewals, blind dates, and amazing gifts for everyone. I will be there. And the MCs will be Lexus Bill and all Joy Prime presenters. Musical performance also will be by Ifia and Abri Council. And the date again is the 14th of February 2016 at Alisa Hotel, Northridge, 5 p.m. And please, the time is again 5 p.m. If you are single, you only have to pay only 160 Ghana cedis. The only is here. I'm not the one who put it there. And the standard for couple is 280. Limited VIP couple tickets are 320 only. And please make sure you grab your tickets from Joy FM and Multi TV, Kokomemle and Alisa Hotel. And for bulk deliveries, contact the following number. Please have your phones and your pens ready. 0244 340 421. The sponsors are Rwand Air. We have Bulgarium Wheat from GM Ado and Sons, Takai Liquor from Georg Distilleries, and the whole event is also supported by FC Perfumery, Dream Cosmetics, Condor Peak Wines, Covano Gin, Spirit Fashion, and Latida Fashion. Well, I'll see you there. And so, you promise to be there?
Yes, we'll be there.
Okay.
But you're already in the mood because this is red and white.
That's orange. All right. So we have to wrap up, but before we do that, though, let's talk meningitis.
Yes.
Because I tried to beg some time for my producer to say whether I got meningitis. Have you been satisfied with the way we've dealt with the issue? My worry has been that annually we report about meningitis within a certain period of the seasons. It seems to have taken us unaware, this very strain, pneumococcal. Yeah.
You're talking about our preparedness. We are aware that it happens. So we know the kinds of things we need to do to prevent it spreading over, becoming, what was the minister explaining? An outbreak or, But the sad part of it is that we appear not to have been ready at the time it came. And so we became alarmed. Now, how do you deal with alarm? Plan. If people know that these are the causes, these are the steps we are taking to deal with the causes. From here, even though we are at this level, we expect that we may rise to this and then fall again, or by this time would have resolved. Then it gives people confidence that some action is being taken. As we sit now, the minister came to give an overview. He was at pains to show that it is not the term which is popular, an epidemic, because it hasn't reached setting. Not 400 people have not died, so it's not an epidemic and so on. Those are all well and good, but we had the opportunity to prepare. And it's not like Ebola, which came out of the blue.
Even Ebola, when you have one, it's an epidemic.
Well, because it's so new, even...
according to the World Health Organization, when you have one epidemic, when you have one case of Ebola, it's an
because
epidemic.
of its mode of spreading, and so Ebola was a new strain. It was not known, took the countries by storm. But meningitis is known to us, even though there are some new additions to it, but they have names, so it means that we know it. So it's a pity we didn't prepare better than we are now. And there are other times. We know the seasons. I think that public education respect of them was also low. Now, since these ones came, social media has been doing a lot, because now I have a whole video posted and it is explaining how it happens, how it's transmitted, and how you can prevent it and so on, which is all good. But if we had done this 1 month earlier, 2 months earlier, probably we would have seen less of the infections and the loss of life we have experienced so far. But as we have been assured that it is not alarming, we hope to see that the ministry and the government, for that matter, is working its talk. It's taking the steps that are necessary to stem it and bring it to a close completely.
Yeah, I think basically this is the symptoms of diseases. It's symptomatic of things that happen. I mean, that do not respect borders. I mean, you might prepare and then someone will move from Burkina Faso or Mali or somewhere into your country, bring along the virus, and then it starts spreading. What is more reassuring is that the Ministry of Health and government has adopted some 3 policies: containment, ensure that we contain the spread of the disease, prevent those who have not yet caught the disease from catching, and so education and getting them to know that if you have headache, don't go treat yourself, don't self-medicate, go to hospital. In pneumococcal meningitis, you're thinking that it's fever, and before you realize it's consumed the whole body. So go to hospital. And then treatment. Those who have been attacked, and they report early to treat them so that they can be rescued from the disease. So clearly, and that's why it is in this like that the government ordered the release of more money to the health institutions to be able to deal with the 3 aspects of dealing with the disease.
But recording 83, 85, it's...
Yes, it's alarming. But that doesn't make it an epidemic. It's alarming. I mean, we ought to have been able to...
Or because it can be controlled.
It can be controlled, but because it has symptoms similar to fever, many people thought they were treating fever before they realized it had turned into something else.
No, it means that usually the way we treat, we will go and self-medicate.
You know, so before you realize, then it's something else, and it can no longer be treated, and that is where we have gotten to, and that is why the government is reinforcing the message: go to hospital if you have a headache, because it comes with the heat, and it spread quickly.
It comes with the heat and the humid nature of the weather,
or the weather. So that's the policy: contain those who have been attacked, contain the disease, prevent people from getting the disease, and treat those who have the disease already.
Fantastic. You should be the Minister of Health. I think when the reshuffle happens, you could.
No.
You want to remain. You like this thing. You like roads, eh?
No, this is the era of reshuffle. I don't want. Before we leave this.
But talking about roads, I just got a message on a social media platform.
Yes.
A viewer wants to find out why the roads in Boko and Bolga are not in the best of shapes.
Yes, Bolga to Boko, that's the major road, passes through 9 constituencies.
It's been there, I think, since 2000.
Since independence. I mean, the only major work.
And your government, at Tamils, I remember when he was on campaign,
the first major road on the road was in the 1970s. We've sent a contractor onto the road. They're doing the designs. Hopefully by March they will see work start on that road, and probably by the end of the year, substantive work will be done.
We are taking it from Boko. Promise.
No.
I like you though.
We are taking it from Boko to Bolga to Pulmakom.
Okay.
Yes.
Were you at the flyover?
Yes, I was there.
Launch?
I was there.
Was it launch or
shortcut? Groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking.
Yes. Some of the piers have been launched.
You know, the thing, until I read about the scope of the project, I thought it was just an overhead. Apparently, it includes the Nyanyano Road.
Nyanyano Road, it includes the road from Obom to Amasaman.
Yes.
It includes 20 kilometers of local roads. It includes 2 bridges, which are interchanges for local traffic, so that you can separate in a very comprehensive way local traffic from through traffic. Yes.
I've noticed that when it comes to the thrust of the message of how you've developed infrastructure in the roads, I mean government, it's one of the key mentions you make. That one, the circle interchange, I say that
we are building roads for the future. I mean, this circle interchange and the Castle interchange are for the future. And it has been a phenomenal increase in the development of road infrastructure in this country.
The only difficulty your side of the house has, or the political divide has, is that you claim that the figure has been overpriced.
Yes.
No, they always say so. They always say so. They stand like you have said.
Oh, he's 10. Relax.
Yeah, you see, infrastructure, infrastructure as a political tool for me has never
been convincing enough.
Because otherwise, then people will not be out of power. In terms of if you're comparing the length and the amount spent, that's why we want to do the analysis. How much did MPP use in the 8 years to construct what length of
serious roads?
Yes. Then we compare.
I remember the Kaswaya Mransa Road. That was fantastic.
Look, even here at Circle in Sawam, the design.
Circle in Sawam, you know, you are a member of the Public Accounts Committee, I think I remember.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But the overrun.
The overrun was 200%.
How did that happen? The overrun happened within your management. No.
You should be answering that.
No, they happened within your management.
When they came, then they overshot the budget.
And the figures.
That's the accusation. When they came, then they overshot the budget.
That's why the public accounts is asking that period, not the period before.
No, it's the period before.
No.
It's the period before. And why we
the overruns came after, when you came to power.
No.
You did re-evaluation of the project. You said you have to spend a lot more because it was depreciation.
We didn't do a re-evaluation of the project. The project had no design.
That's it. So
they were implementing the project with the design. So there were a lot of variations.
Where?
Oh, go and take the other figures.
The figures.
200%.
The figures. Even the figures.
Even the castle, they said what is it? The Kumasi one. Go check the
Sofoline.
The Sofoline interchange.
The Sofoline interchange. I was at the meeting which selected the design and the circle design. I was in that meeting.
This very circle design?
Yes.
Is it the same design we are implementing?
Not the same design. But at one meeting on which they selected, this is the design for Kaswa interchange. Circle interchange. This is the design for Sofola interchange.
This is the design that we want for Kaswa.
But seriously, I have to say, yesterday I was driving from there to a meeting somewhere around the STC area. I go there and say, this is downtown Cairo. It's you look at the beams and the metallic railings.
My only fear is our culture of maintenance and metals. We are around the sea area, so we have to make sure we're consciously protecting metals which are likely to attract the sea breeze. And
you think you'll be a minister by then to be maintaining it for the next 4 years?
Yes, it's a good point, and everybody should be worried that since we are using metal, we need to develop a core of expertise to handle the metal concrete bridges. And so we are doing that. We are setting up a core team to be able to deal with that.
We're having a lot of concerns being raised. For example, there are no street lights on the very road that you said were 200%.
Yes, because you see, Ghanaians, we must help in protecting our street lighting infrastructure.
Why do we steal them?
Oh.
I'm asking.
I don't want to be the person to say this on your sets, but you know what happens.
I remember the motorway. I applied the motorway a lot.
Yeah.
And somebody died last time trying to.
You know even the N1. Someone just went there and started removing the lamps.
No, what happened on the N1? They posed as if they were
workers.
Yes, they brought that turntable.
Yes.
They climbed it and they removed it.
All the distance.
The solar. Hey,
yes.
No, but
look at the police headquarters. The cable, and the.
They came with the equipment. That one is private. Private equipment.
No, but that
nobody noticed
the sophistication of the people involved in the crime. You know.
But it can happen elsewhere because someone will stop and ask, "Which people are you?" But here we just
nobody was.
Nobody will ask, and then that's all.
Anyway. It is because actually officialdom are too stiff. If somebody wanted to find out, how would he even reach the person in charge?
Just those working there. So we constantly said repeatedly.
They will tell you that yes, they are from this, or they will not mind you when you
stop and ask them. There are charlatans all over the place.
You guys are going to Parliament today?
Yes, I'm answering questions in Parliament actually.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, we'll see you again.
When is our 5 kilometers starting?
Oh, you're 5 kilometers.
Where?
Oh, no, 5 kilometers.
Oh, it's good.
5 kilometers from.
You get some votes. He will get 20,000.
I'm doing all the Bekwai town road.
Hey!
5 kilometers of
NDC
Bekwai.
government.
I'm even going to asphalt the roads for him. I'm
roads.
guaranteeing him a return to Parliament.
No,
the toll roads
he's
have been tarred since I was born.
Yes, but
They
we're
were
asphalting.
redone in 2006, 2007.
Yes.
He's
But
correcting.
he says it's going to put asphalt
on it.
on the tarred road.
So for the first time, we are going to have asphalt in Bekwai. And that will come during the term of his
I was asking him that.
MPship. You
When
know.
is that? Because you are giving us much for some.
So
when?
No, they're doing it. They're actually in Bekwai.
They have not. I know that somebody is going around saying he's measuring for that purpose, but no work has started. But actually,
so
if
I'm
you ask me, I was just telling
setting
him.
a date for him. You know, in the history books, when he's done and he's gone, and people come after him.
They'll say that when he was
MP, that was when the rules were.
So you are consolidating his legacy.
I want him to extend the road to the other part of the town.
I've enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I hope to have you again sometime. And the two of you, when you have the time, we'll try to invite you as much as we can.
Of course.
That's my senior at the bar. So you see.
Yeah, I see you guys. You have a certain camaraderie, and that's great. It's not the usual MPP NDC.
No.
But again, the two of you don't do the usual MPP NDC.
No, actually, that's how it ought to be.
Yeah.
We have to engage in a way that is friendly, but focus on what will
Friendly
tell
fire.
him.
All right, we're taking a break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more for you. And so do stay on. So the show, as always, if you want to get interactive, make sure you log on to our page on Facebook, Joy News on TV, and also use the number 0568 100,000 on our WhatsApp platform to get a lot more of what you want to hear. And this one is coming from Kamal Karaga. When exactly will the Tamale Karaga Road be constructed? We have heard the contract has been awarded, but when will it start?
Yes, good.
It says since 2012.
No. The contract was awarded in 2012 to a contractor who performed abysmally, so we had to terminate and repackage and award.
You put 2012 there. Please kindly ask the Honourable Minister when the Opsi Anrian Kwanta Road is going to be awarded on contract. Mahama Idrisu. Is it Obuasi? Yes. Then there was a mistake in the spelling.
No, it's a short fall, OBSI.
Okay, Obuasi.
So he's asking that question. When is that also going to be?
That's going to be affected by cocoa. That's a cocoa road.
That's a major highway.
Yeah, that's a cocoa. But that's a trunk road.
Honourable Minister, why is the Chireponi Town Road, people like you, still untarred? That's from Yakubu.
Chireponi.
Chireponi Town Road.
Yes, Chireponi, yes.
We excuse you on this question because we say... We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more for you. This thing.